Hello everyone! It is the end of 2024, which means it is time for a little bit of a reading wrap up, and I'm gonna start that off by sharing my 5 favourite reads of this year. Just to clarify, these are not books that were published this year, these are books that I've just read this year and enjoyed. So let's get started. So the first book that I want to talk about is The Muse of Nightmares by Laini Taylor. I really loved this. It is the second book that follows on from Strange the Dreamer. So basically, Strange the Dreamer is about a boy called Laszlo who loves reading, and he discovers this place called Weep, but Weep is not this place's actual name. A few years ago, everyone just forgot what Weep was actually called. And ever since reading about this, Laszlo has been fascinated by the mystery and basically gets an opportunity to go in a special group to try and solve whatever it is that has happened in Weep and basically start to get some answers. One of my favourite things about this duology is Laini Taylor's writing. It is so magical and whimsical, and I don't know, I enjoyed every second of it. I think The Muse of Nightmares does a great job of expanding on what Strange the Dreamer already set up. You can start to get a little bit more insight into some of the other characters, learn a little bit more about Laszlo, and I just loved it. So the next book I want to talk about is The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes by Suzanne Collins. I'm very late to the party on this one. I didn't think we needed a Hunger Games prequel, and did we need it? I don't know. Did I love it? Yes. So this book follows a young Snow as he mentors a tribute for the Hunger Games. And it just kind of showed things from a different side that I really loved. And I really enjoyed watching the dynamic between Snow and Lucy Gray. I love Lucy Gray as a character. And also, I guess just watching Snow start to become the character that we know him as in the main trilogy. This is not a love story by any means. I think some people maybe have over-romanticized it. I've not also seen the film, so I don't know if that's done a good job. But I really enjoyed this. I really loved it. So the next book I want to talk about is actually part of a manga series. It's one I've been chipping away at for a while, and that is Nana by Ai Yazawa. I love Ai Yazawa's work. She does such a beautiful job at creating really human characters. And Nana follows 2 girls called Nana who both moved to Tokyo. One is looking to kind of start out a music career, and the other one is just, I guess, a hopeless romantic who doesn't have the best luck with men. They meet by coincidence, end up becoming friends, and it's just, I guess, it starts off as a really beautiful journey of these two together, and then things just start to get a little bit more complicated, and it's just soul-wrenching and heartbreaking, and I love every second of it. Nana, unfortunately, never actually got finished due to the author's illness. However, if you like the sound of it, I would definitely recommend one of her other works, which is Paradise Kiss, which is 5 volumes long, so it's not as long as Nana, which I think is like 20 or something now, and contains similar themes, but it's actually a complete story. So the next series I want to talk about is one I finished off this year, and that is The Green Bone Saga. I only have these 2 in the physical copy, but yeah, I read Jade War and Jade Legacy, and oh my god, I adored these. So The Green Bone Saga, basically, it's set on an island called Keikon, and on Keikon, there are people called Greenbones who can use jade to basically enhance their natural abilities. And jade is a really valuable resource within Keikon, and also internationally as well, but it does hold more value and cultural significance on this island of Keikon. The book follows the Core clan, there's different clans in the main city of Janloon, and the Cores are one of the most powerful. However, there are constant challenges for that power, and the book basically just follows this clan while they try to both grow in strength but also maintain their power against their biggest rivals, the Mountain. This is also a family saga as well, which it's just, I love the dynamic between every member of the Cole family. They're so beautifully written. Fonda Lee has done a phenomenal job of crafting these characters. The way she writes women, mwah. The way she kind of writes the tensions between the characters, their differences, where they kind of, like, I guess, intersect, beautiful. And I love how this series just builds and builds and builds and builds and builds. The first book is very much, I guess, centered on the clan tensions and the clan war, and I guess more into personal matters. Jade War starts to expand out more onto the international stage and some of the, I guess, cultural tensions that come in there, but then also some of the internal tensions that this causes due to certain people's prejudices, certain people's opinions on other things. And then the final book, Jade Legacy, builds on that even more, but with a little bit more intergenerational conflict really coming to the forefront. And this series just does a phenomenal job, I guess, at addressing but also challenging some of these opinions that I really, really recognise as being present in our world today. Highly, highly recommend this series if you've been putting it off. Absolutely loved it. 5-star read all the way through. And then finally, the book I want to talk about that I really wasn't expecting to love as much as I did, and that is Eleanor Oliphant is Completely Fine. So Eleanor Oliphant follows the main character Eleanor, and Eleanor is just a really, really well-crafted, unlikable person, but likable character. She's had a very traumatic event that has happened to her in her past, and as a result now, she's just, I guess, she's not the biggest fan of social interaction. She's that person who, when you're serving in a shop, you just kind of dread coming in because they're just so unnecessarily difficult. But Gail Honeyman does such a beautiful job of, I guess, showcasing this in a way that you just can't hate her, even though you can kind of feel the other character's frustration with her. You just can't hate her. And then Eleanor meets another character called Raymond, who is just such a sweetheart, and you just gradually start to see her start to melt a little bit, start to break out of her shell, and it was just such a beautiful journey to watch. I listened to the audiobook that was narrated by Kathleen McCarran. She did a phenomenal job. This is one of those books that I actually think I would definitely recommend listening to the audio because it just captured it perfectly. This book was heartbreaking, it was funny, and I loved every second of it and gave it an incredibly solid 5 stars. And I think I can't really compare this to the Greenbone Saga because they are completely different books, but I think these two are definitely my favourite reads of this year, and I highly recommend both of them. Even if, like me, maybe Eleanor Oliphant isn't a book that you're kind of would think would be your vibe, give the audiobook a go and just see how you find it. So that is everything that I wanted to talk about today. What were your 5 favourite reads of this year? I would love to hear about them in the comments. And if you've read any of these books, please let me know your thoughts on them as well. Thank you so much for listening, and I will see you all in the new year. Bye.